right, as I got an email from Nancy Yeats of the Lakeville Conservation Commission. I had been reaching out to her to get information on the weed removal that Lakeville did, so we can kind of, you know, have a general idea what we're going to be dealing with, because they want to do the same thing on Lake Street, using the same contractor potentially. And she sent me the notice of intent, the order of conditions, and the special order of conditions that were tied to that project, and I'll forward them to you guys for information. I sent them to Pat already, but I will send them to the rest of the commission.
Can you send me the letter too, just to have it for the file?
Oh, I'll forward you the email as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, old business. Paul Boucher, 7 Morton Lane. File number SC0010566, discussion on applicant's request to amend order of conditions, represented by attorney James Marsh. Review of matters presented, votes may be taken. Attorney Jeff Blake on behalf of the commission. Let's see, I don't know, I don't think Jeff Blake was going to be here tonight.
No.
Based on the meeting that we had, me and Pat and I. Did Attorney Blake reach out to you?
I spoke to him, and he said he wasn't going to be here tonight.
Okay, yeah. So that was pretty much the gist of what I got out of that.
No, our Pat's not on.
He's trying. He's trying.
He's trying to get on.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He said he's trying.
All right. I don't know if you want to wait for Pat to. I mean, I can explain it the best I can, but if you want to wait for Pat, if he's going to be zooming in. I don't know.
I would think.
Chairman, I have one request, that we do both of the matters. There's another agenda item here towards the end of the meeting. We could do them together.
Okay, yeah, that's no problem. We can combine those two. He had told me that he put it on under both matters, depending on however we did, just in case. So yeah, also under stormwater, Paul Boucher, 7 Morton Lane, SC file number 0010566. Discussion on project compliance with local bylaw, represented by attorney James Marsh. Review matters presented, votes may be taken. So the gist that I got out of this was there's no votes to be taken. There's 2 letters here. I don't know. I had received an email with the letters he had sent to Attorney Blake for approval. Basically, what's going to happen is, well, I can read the letters to the record actually. So this is for, well, we'll do the amended notice of intent. I don't know if they were putting it under amended notice of intent or under stormwater, so that's why it was on their both. So it says re-amended notice of intent, order of conditions. Dear Mr. Boucher, on May 10th, 2023, you appeared before the Acushnet Conservation Commission seeking an amendment to the notice of intent SC0010566, as the project has been reduced in scope and amount of land disturbance. To support said amendment, you provided the commission with a plan dated March 25th, 2023, titled Topographic As-Built Plan, Nancy Durfee, Paul Boucher, 7 Morton Lane. The May 10th, 2023 meeting was duly posted and a quorum was present. The vote allowing the amendment was 301, motion passed. So that was one of the letters. I don't know the language, that's why I think there was 2. So here's the second one. Dear Mr. Boucher, on May 10, 2023, you appeared before the Acushnet Conservation Commission seeking an amendment to stormwater requirements on 7 Morton Lane, SC file number 0010566, as the project has been reduced in scope and amount of land disturbance. The May 10, 2023 meeting was duly posted and a quorum was present. You submitted an as-built topographical plan of the project, topographic as-built plan, Nancy Durfee and Paul Boucher, 7 Morton Lane, dated March 25th, 2023. The commission in deliberation found that the as-built plan satisfied the stormwater requirements of the town and found that no additional action was required for stormwater by a vote of 3-0-1, motion passed. So basically, those letters would be put on file, and a quorum of our members would sign it and give it to you guys as well.
Okay, so there will be an amended order of conditions, which will be signed by a majority of the members. Because the commission already took a vote back in May, and that's what both those letters refer to.
Right.
So the commission is satisfied with the plan that will be referenced as the new plan of record for the order of conditions, which the amended order of conditions. And that the commission is also satisfied that that there's no issue with the stormwater bylaw with respect to this project.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if there is.
Oh, here's Pat right here.
All right, here's Pat right here. Pat, can you hear us?
I think I'm here.
You're here.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right.
Loud and clear.
All right.
Attorney Marsh is at the podium. Can you I just read the letter to the record. Can you better explain the conversation we had with Attorney Blake?
So, Attorney Blake had a conversation with Attorney Marsh, and this letter was written on advice of counsel. I'm not willing to share what counsel told us, Ryan, because that's confidential between us and the town's attorney.
Yeah.
That was Jeff Blake's opinion earlier today. So, the letter's self-explanatory, and I think he knows what it's all about.
So I would ask that the commission just issue an amended order of conditions, and it could reference the plan, the letters here from Attorney Blake. But it's a amended order that needs to be signed by the commission, so that it's in conformance with what the DP wetlands policy with respect to amending an order requires.
Can I interrupt for a minute?
Sure.
Can I interrupt a minute?
Go ahead.
So Joanne already has that information. I'm surprised she hasn't mentioned it. So we did talk to Jeff Blake about issuing an amended order of conditions. Joanne needs to talk to the circuit rider about that. She's not sure what the fee is, but that is going to be done. So Joanne, do you want to explain that?
Yeah, we have an amended order of conditions, which will be signed tonight.
Great.
It has to be recorded at the registry of deeds, so I would have to collect the fee from the, Mr. Boucher for that. I don't believe the fee was collected to do the order of conditions, the amended order back in May.
Okay.
So that might need to be collected also. Other than that, the circuit rider will just guide me. I haven't done an amended since I've been back to the commission in 5 years, so I just need guidance on the dates at the top of, I know it has to have the amended date on it, but if I use the dates originally filed on the original amended order, so that's just questions I need to clear up with the circuit rider.
Okay.
Other than that, it takes me 10 days to issue it. I'll be out on vacation next week, so I just need a little time to get it prepared and get it done.
Okay. Are they going to actually sign it tonight?
Yes, I have
okay,
it here.
Great.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that good, Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
That covers us, other than, at some point, we're going to want to make a request to the commission for a certificate of compliance under the amended order of conditions, once it's issued. There's a process for that as well.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see you back here for that process.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Jordan, you don't know which that's going to be, so I can get you a check tomorrow if you need it.
All right, new business. Public hearing, notice of intent, Sincarfa Park Drive LLC, Lambert Street, map 17, lot 13, SC file number 0010582. A notice of intent was filed by Sincarfa Park Drive LLC for property located at Lambert Street, map 17, lot 13. The applicant proposes development of an access road with proposed wetland impact and associated replication to access the Park Drive Solar Project. This is an alternative access road. The applicant is represented by Rob Burkowski of Weston and Sampson Engineers Incorporated. Plan name is Proposed Lambert Street Access road site plans dated May 9th, 2023, and I am recusing myself from this project, so Everett, floor is yours.
Do we do the motion also?
You got
Motion to open.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Oh, public hearing, motion.
Motion to open.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Okay,
Hi,
over
everyone.
yours.
Rob Bukowski, Westland Sampson here for the Park Drive Solar Project. Second NOI and stormwater permit application. So first thing, I just want to apologize for the mishap we had before to the commission and the abutters. We mistakenly put the wrong document in the public notification, so that's why we're back. So the recent notice that went out actually had all the hearing information, so apologies for the inconvenience there. So some of you that were on the commission back in 2021 may remember the first access was on Brooks Ave, which is shown in the yellow highlighted section here. And then we found as we were going through the project and getting closer to construction, there were some issues and some legal issues with not being able to access through Brooks Ave. So we considered other options, including potentially using the Eversource easement that's further east at the end of Park Drive, between Eversource not allowing permission and the extensive amount of wetlands. That pretty much eliminated that, so we ended up where we are now, and that's for this notice of intent that was submitted for the Lambert Street extension, and that's shown in the pink area here. So just to recap some of the details, the originally approved NOI with the order of conditions was issued back in 2021. There was about 4,000 square feet of wetland disturbance associated with that, and we did include replication plan for that. The new Lambert Street extension is about 325 total feet. It's 30 feet wide at the end of the existing pavement, and then it tapers down to 20 feet. The first 20 feet is going to be asphalt, and it'll be gravel beyond that. We are proposing another 3,300-ish square feet of wetland disturbance here. So in aggregate, that kicks the total project wetland impacts over 5,000 square feet, which I'll get to in a minute. For this new wetland disturbance for Lambert Street, we're proposing 1.5 times replication, so there'll be an area of over 5,000 square feet that will be created wetlands adjacent to the new road. The actual wetland crossing, what we're proposing, and this detail was included in the plans, is a rock sand, which we've used that pretty successfully in other projects where it's a way that uses larger stones or boulders that have bigger void spaces so the water can still pass through, so there's some connectivity there on both sides of the wetlands. When the original order of conditions was issued in 2021, this area was not mapped as priority habitat for the eastern box turtle. Since then, Natural Heritage has updated their mapping. We did have a conversation with them, and they have issued us a letter of no take. So there is a condition with that a turtle protection plan be implemented, and then periodic inspections be performed. I mentioned the over 5,000 square feet total wetland disturbance earlier. Basically what that does is kicks us into additional state permitting. So we have to go through Mass DEP for a 401 water quality cert, and we also have to go through MEPA. So we've begun that process. We filed pre-filing notifications through MEPA, and we've had conversations with DEP, and we're in the process of getting that permit application. So as we mentioned some of these previous hearings, this is really the first step in hoping to get local approval, so then as we move further along and over the coming months work with DEP and MEPA and the Army Corps to get those additional permits that'll be required before we can get a building permit.
Okay. What kind of impact do you think it's going to have during the construction on that neighborhood?
Well, the biggest impact, will be during that, 6 months-ish period of construction.
Yeah, construction will last a little bit longer than that, but the majority of the traffic will be during a 6-month period.
I think most of it's going to be deliveries, of bringing the delivery trucks in with the racking and the panels and the foundations and things like that.
Anybody else have questions?
You gonna put the driveway in first, or you gonna do something temporary?
No, the driveway will go in first. Yeah, that's gonna be the only access to get back there, so that'll be first.
And I know we had discussed or had discussion about keeping that area clean, streetwise, as far as a contractor or whoever you guys choose to do that, to keep that neighborhood streets clean. Is that in the works?
It is. So what we've got shown here, so as I think I mentioned, the first 20 feet is going to be asphalt. And then beyond that, I think this is 100 feet or so of a construction entrance / exit. So what this is an area where we use like 2 to 3 inch stone. And I'm sure you've seen it at other construction sites, but the idea is that as trucks come out, if they have any silt or mud trapped within their tires, this would give a surface to kind of agitate the tires and knock that stuff out.
It is a tight neighborhood. We want to be good to these neighbors while this is going on for this long-term project, to make sure that, you know, we're not receiving these calls from the potential mud runoff from these heavy trucks coming in and out. I think that would be my #1 priority if I was living in that neighborhood, to make sure that, you know, there wasn't runoff from these trucks being carried out.
Understood.
The other thing I know that we discussed too was making sure that this gets gated off, because that property is turning into a dump, and it's not just stuff that's gonna compost away, it's trash and everything else, so.
We will make sure this property is no longer being used as a dump.
Is there a plan to put a gate?
Yes.
Okay, I think
Absolutely.
would be a direct answer to the question that was you know, asked, was our concern, because we did view it as a potential dumping site that could potentially be a bigger problem. It's just not grass clippings or tree trimmings. There's garbage back there that, you know, we saw for ourselves with our own eyes. We want to prevent that from further happening.
There will be a gate.
Okay.
We don't want trash on.
Will it be
the
a
site.
secured gate?
Excuse me. When's the last time you've been back there? I'm Ray White.
When's
the last time you've been back there?
When did we visit that site, guys?
In the spring.
Spring?
This spring?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I took a whole tractor trailer of tires out.
Sir, if you'd like to address,
Yeah.
could you go to the podium?
Okay.
Please,
No, I
and
just
address
wanted
who
to-
you are, and
We probably got him on this project.
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah.
There will be a secure gate.
Yeah.
We don't want people-
I'm Ray White.
Yeah.
I don't know owner of the land. But I took out more crap. You're right. It's been a dumping station for many, many years. But we took a whole tractor trailer of tires out of there. Tractor trailer of truck. Cost me $1,400 to dump it. And also a tractor trailer of garbage out there.
I believe it.
Washers, dryers, refrigerators.
I believe it, but what we saw as a
My son
commission,
helped me, and we did it ourselves. You know, with four-wheeler, we dragged all the tires out. And we
I
came up.
understand, and
But one thing I'd like to say, you know, they closed Nines Lane. You know,
Excuse me, can you say that again?
they closed Nines Lane.
All
All right, it was a good test because you know how much traffic is
Right.
going through that neighborhood right now.
I did do that.
It is crazy. I mean, I actually come up through there 'cause I go to Cumberland to the bank and come around, and his tractor trailer's going through that windy city. You know, so it can work, and it's going to be way less traffic than what they're going to have. Way less. I mean, there's thousands of trucks a day going through the cars, you know, and what they're going to have is going to be short term also, you know, which is this will be too. But I mean, it's a good test that vehicles can get through there safely. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Could I have something to say?
yes, certainly.
My name is Raymond Larrabee, and I live on Lucia Street. I've been there since 1964. When they started building houses down on Park Drive, there has been traffic up Lucia Street. On the last project that they did beyond the power lines, that started 7 o'clock in the morning. There was Reese's trucks come around onto Lucia Street, 7 o'clock in the morning, and they lasted for 2 years, 2 summers. And where is the quickest way to get to this site that they're going? If it ain't Lucia Street, where are they going? And that's my question. And Lucia Street needs repair right now.
Well, as far as traffic, once this project is done, there will be very little of their traffic going in there at all. They'll have probably maintenance a couple times a year. Go in to look at them.
They use Lucia Street to go to Park Drive, and all them houses down there. You can't say that.
But their project isn't going to be generating any traffic to speak of after it's built.
After it's built.
Right, and it's not going to.
For 2 years.
It doesn't take them very long to put those things in.
Okay, hi, my name is Lance Virgo. I live right beside Mr. Laravia, 35 Lucia Street. They're saying 6 months, bringing the stuff in and stuff like that. But you're forgetting, what about taking the trees out? How long is that? That's not gonna take 6 months to cut the trees down, to clear the land, to level it, to get it prepped for the solar panels. So that's gonna take longer than the 6-month mark that they're saying. We have kids that live in that neighborhood, and like he said, these trucks that were supposed to go down to Park Drive for the housing were supposed to use a different access, and they were using Lucia Street, and it was truck after truck after truck after truck. We have kids on Lucia Street that are down to the age of 2 years of age that play in the street because they have their basketball hoops or whatever like that, and this is going to create a lot of traffic during, and there's no way it's going to take 6 months. Yes, 6 months to build it after it's been leveled and everything's been taken out, but up until that point, how long is that going to take with those trucks coming in and out?
Do you have a total time frame on the whole project? Right from cutting the first branch down?
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Pat.
if I could, so there's a MEPA filing here. This will go through MEPA. There'll be an opportunity for people to comment on traffic and other effects from the project. That's part of the MEPA process. Maybe Rob could explain that to you folks, or the people in the audience. Rob?
Sure. Yep, thanks, Pat. Yeah, so
Could you explain MEPA to these folks?
Yep. So the MEPA process is basically, they get a chance, it's basically for big public notification, public communication, and it gives every state agency the opportunity to review the project and put input in. So it's going to be a long process. We have to initially submit an expanded ENF. MEPA will review that, and they'll look.
Hey, Rob?
Yeah.
Rob?
Yeah.
They don't know the acronym.
Sorry.
You give them an ENF.
Expanded environmental notification form. So it gives some of the project details, some of the breakdown, and then they'll look at that and they'll direct us. We have to do a separate filing, which is called environmental impact report. So the results of the ENF will direct us in what things to focus on, which may include things like wetlands or stormwater or traffic impacts or all those types of things. So there definitely will be another opportunity, and we do have to, speaking, knowing that this is the Conservation Commission, we're going to go in front of the planning board next week, and one of the things that they have brought up in the past is traffic and how that's going to be handled. We did consult with the fire department during the first go-around back in 2021, so they have provided input.
If I could, Rob, I just want to remind everybody of the special conditions that I drafted that keeps the commission and the town involved in all of the future filings for the project. And that, if this project files something with the state or another agency, we will get a copy of the filing. And if there's a comment period for that filing, we will be making comments. and there is an opportunity for public comment in some of these processes. So this isn't just a slam dunk if the commission votes for this tonight. This is just the first step in many steps.
How much clearing are you looking at doing? Do you know approximately how many acres of trees you got coming out?
It's about 20 acres, the entire project.
Is that cleared already? Is there field there already, or is that what you got to clear? So wooded?
All trees.
We should stick with Lambert Street, folks.
Right.
The other project's already permitted.
We're also going to work with the school bus schedule and our contractors to make sure that trucks are not coming and going around the times that school buses drop off and pick up. We've done that in the past and we'll do that here again.
So as Mr. D'Souza stated earlier, what's the scope of time of this project from the first break of branch? What's the estimated time from start to finish on this project? I think
9 months.
9 months.
But it could be closer to a year, but the actual timing of trees being removed and deliveries being made will not be that entire time.
You're always better off going with the worst, so we're gonna say this is a 1-year project. I mean, if you guys do it all in 10 months, you hit a home run. If you do it in 13, well then now you didn't even cover the 12. So let's say it's a year. It's a year project.
We can say that.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I just want to clarify that I think that the timeline they're giving you is after permitting.
Yep.
Yes.
So the timeline would be a construction timeline. It does not include permitting. Is that right, Rob?
That's right.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. I just want everything out there so that no one thinks they didn't hear it right.
Thank you.
So the issue before us tonight is if we're going to let them move their entrance up to Lambert Street. And
with those special, is that right?
With the.
And we have your special conditions right in front of us, Pat, so we do know what they are.
Yep.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, can I just add one thing? I missed the last meeting, but I think one of the things that came up was some of the proposed edits, like under condition 4, where it says turtle protection plan is subject to commission staff approval. I know you wanted staff to lead it. The only reason for us putting that in there was just so for every one of these items, we didn't have to come back and be formally in front of the commission. We thought that maybe we could work through Pat and Joanne, on those issues. That was the intent.
So that wasn't what I intended. I want everything to go through the commission. The commission runs what goes on out there. They vote. I don't. Joanne doesn't vote. And I think it's important that, and I chose the word commission, you folks put in the word staff. I prefer that it's the commission, and just for that reason, that things do need to come back before you. I don't want anybody saying that anything got done in the office, not in public, any of that. I want it all done at meetings.
I think, Pat, one of the only things that says requires commission approval is the turtle protection plan, but other things like including a copy of the SWIP, I wouldn't think we need to come back for that, right? That's something we can just submit.
True. Yep. Those are normal submittals. Those aren't, we don't even get to approve that. That goes to EPA, and it's pretty much a done deal anyways.
Anyone else have any comments? Yes.
I just have a lot of questions in.
Could you state your name?
Kathy Murray, 75 Lambert Street. And I'm just really concerned with that amount of clearing, which I know we're not talking about that. But where's all that water gonna go? This is a very wet neighborhood. You're taking all the trees away that, are responsible for eating up some of that water. And now you're taking the wetlands away, which is supposed to filter the water. So what's the impact to our neighborhood?
Well, the wetland that they're doing a replication of 1 to 1.5. So the wet spot that there's now, they're going to times it plus a half. So they're replacing that.
So how successful is wetlands replication?
I think it's very successful.
That's not what I've read, so.
Well, it depends on what plant life and everything they use, but it should be. There's no reason it shouldn't work.
Okay.
You're gonna literally put back the same plant life, same soils, all that is all gonna be replicated, the same exact what was already there.
And
It
they
sounds
make
like
it
she's trying to address stormwater more than wetlands. She's asking about stormwater.
This is
Runoff.
an extremely wet
So,
area with
in that
really bad
sense, I mean,
soils.
So we're not at that point, we're not at that point right now.
Okay.
So it's hard to really answer that. I mean, we're just.
Well, stormwater has been approved for the project of the, the land clearing and the array and all of that. That's a foregone conclusion from several years ago, I believe. So the only real thing here is Lambert Street, unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately, we were never notified for that part of the project, so it was a big surprise.
I mean, I agree that, I can't see the person speaking, but I agree that there are going to be some stormwater impacts from this. That was a major watershed for the town. You've got another project downstream that recently got permitted for stormwater and is about to go through NOIs. It's going to be clearing another 19 acres of watershed. And it's something everybody starts to think about going forward. But we're only at the Lambert Street stage. Everything else has been approved, and access is the last issue to start the job.
So basically, we're just stuck with the results. The neighborhood is stuck with the results. Okay.
We are.
Just one last question. This habitat that's living there right now, when you destroy that, like, where are they going to go?
They're recreating that habitat. I myself have been involved in 3 projects that involve turtles and building new nesting habitat, turtle sweeps and protection plans. And they are successful, but they're successful when you have a contractor that goes by the plan. And that's why I've asked that we have oversight over the turtle protection plan. And in fact, Rob Grabowski has agreed. And I think in concept with this client that it would be a third party, not the contractor that's doing the turtle sweeps. It would be a third party outside of a construction company.
So could you explain what that is, a turtle sweep?
Yeah, so the 2 projects I was involved in, they actually put GPS locators on the turtles so they knew where they were. And they put up turtle barriers on the ground to prevent the turtles from entering into the active construction areas. And they divided the construction areas into segments so that as they moved across the property, they were protecting the turtles. If they broke for lunch, the turtle barriers went up. After lunch, the third party came in, examined the work area for turtles. Once it was cleared, the barrier came down and they went back to work. It is a bit of a process, and I fear the contractors like to short circuit those processes, and that's why I insisted on a third party. And we have access to the site as well while the construction is going on. I do plan on going out there for the turtle sweeps. I think it's an important part, and we can only build in the protection. Natural Heritage is pretty careful about issuing letters about no take and takes, and I think they covered their base by asking for a turtle protection plan.
All right, thank you.
I just had,
Podium, please.
on what she was saying about that, like, we were talking about when she was referring to the storms, like how bad it gets over there. There is, what's the name of the paper street behind us?
St. Lawrence, I think.
That runs parallel with Lucia Street down towards, it goes down towards Lambert Street. But behind our houses, there is I'll say it's like a dry brook. When you get the major storms like today that just happened and we had the other night, the water runs off and it goes all the way down to her house, down towards Lambert Street, and it comes out the brook crosses and it goes through that way. And like literally when it rains, you could literally go swimming between our houses. That's how bad it gets flooded in that area. So that's another thing to look out for. What happens now if that brook now, it's like I said, it's dry during when it's not raining or anything like that, but when it does rain, like today, it'll start to do that. That has to also be looked into effect, because now if that gets blocked off or whatever, now the water starts to back up, and now that's going into all of our houses, I mean our yards and stuff like that. Every single house on Lucia Street gets flooded with water on the way like storms for today. But if that brook disappears, that's backing up more into our property.
Oh, it ain't St. Lawrence. It's, it's another street.
So, like I said, I know this is the first step and stuff like that. I don't know how far you have away from our houses and stuff like that. You know, that's another process, another meeting and everything like that, you know. But that's something to also, what she's talking about as far as stormwater runoff and stuff like that, which affects everybody up Lucia Street on that side. That will be on the side where the solar farm entrance will be and stuff like that. That's another thing to think about.
Yeah, it sounds like you were talking about some country drainage, that's old country drainage.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. In 64 years, there's supposed to be a ditch.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
And it's never, in 64 years, I've never seen, we used to keep it open until Sam Cantino, where Sam Cantino lived. And that was, what's Sam's number? I don't know, it's in around 60. And he had a duck
Hindle
pond.
Street is what it's called. The paper street, it goes Hindle Street. Turns
Yeah,
into
Hindle,
paper street.
it's Hindle. There's supposed to be a drainage ditch going down, and it's never been kept up. We kept it up until this Sam Catino had a pond, and he used to have ducks and geese, and as long as we kept the open in our backyard, you know, we kept it open a couple of feet, and the water used to run down there, and that would fill this pond, and then it's supposed to go down whatever further.
Okay, so I have a question. The first thing that's getting done, if the road goes in, is that replication before any construction, before the field's made or anything, correct?
Yeah, well, the road has to go in first, right?
Correct.
Otherwise, we can't get back there. But yes, assuming the right time of year, we can do the replication. I mean, you can't do it in the middle of winter because the plants will die, right? But
Right.
I think assuming that it's in the right time of year when the plants will take, yeah, we can adjust the schedule.
Because if you go, just put the road in and start clearing, then the replication ain't done or nothing, so you guys have to plant it the right time of year.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be spring or fall.
Yep.
So there's, yeah, I mean, there's a tree window that we're trying to, ideally, you clear between like November and March, so there's no issues with bats and other habitat. But the replication could be done, you know, in the spring as soon as the weather permits.
Yeah, but you can't be having trucks going in and out of there without the replication done.
The wetland replication isn't going to affect the stormwater significantly.
It affects the road. You're taking wet out of the road, am I right by saying that? And you're replicating that?
The replication area is up here.
Right, and where's the wet spot?
Right in here.
All right, so you're gonna put the road in first, start clearing trees, then do that later on in life?
Well, I think one thing that could be done is we could probably excavate and at least get this to the elevation needed for the plantings. I'm just saying, if, say we're clearing trees in January, you can't do wetland replication in January. You know, we could probably dig this out. Yeah, Pat.
To interrupt you for 1 second. First of all, you won't be clearing trees in January because you won't be able to stabilize. So
it would be just, it wouldn't be,
explain to the commission.
It wouldn't be grubbing that, it's just tree clearing.
Well, on your construction general permit, you need to be able to vegetate areas. And I would absolutely be opposed to anything after November for tree cutting, but that's for the discussion with the other permits. But explain to the commission that you need to use some of the wetland soils you're excavating out of the road for your replication project.
Yes.
So the hydric soil need to be removed and banked.
Yep.
To build the road. And normally, wetlands replications are done, Jimmy, within 2 years or a year of the project, and then it's maintained or monitored for another 2 years for invasive species. So they need to dig up the parent soil
to use it,
to grow the plant, the soil they came from. That's the first plan to DEP, and if you can't, then you buy organic material somewhere else that meets the specification and continue with the science project. But they do need to build the road first.
Correct.
And save some soil for the replication area. Do you agree, Rob?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have any questions? Okay, I guess a motion to close the meeting.
Motion to close.
Second.
All those in favor of closing the hearing?
Aye.
Thank you. We will consider this. And do we want to vote tonight, or do we want to vote later on?
We got to, they were voting on land.
We already voted last.
Moving the
last.
road.
Yeah.
Moving
I
the
think
road.
we
Okay.
I don't think that counts because the notification
Right,
wasn't
it's
done,
not
so I think you have to revote.
We do have to revote.
Yeah, that's.
Can I say
Oh,
something?
yeah, no, we have to,
Go ahead.
So
I know we have to
the
revote.
commission closed the public hearing, and under the Wetlands Protection Act, you have 21 days to deliberate. So if you wanted to think about it and vote on it at the next meeting, you know, that's allowed. We just need to meet before the 21 days, or it's a constructive approval. I don't know that anything's changed. You know, you did vote on it before, but it's, you know, it's up to you folks whether you want to think about it or vote tonight.
I know it hasn't changed my opinion.
That changed mine.
So shall we take a vote tonight on going to approve this Lambert Street project? Okay.
Someone could make a motion and just see if it passes, Everett.
Motion to vote?
Second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of Lambert Street, raise your hand. Aye.
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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 4, and 1 abstain.
Everett, I just want to bring your attention to that. Do you want that word again on item number 4 and item number 8, staff, removed,
Stricken?
stricken?
Yes.
Gonna say commission, right?
It says turtle protection plan is subject to commission approval. It says commission staff approval now. Last time they voted, they wanted to strike the word staff.
Yeah, I just want to know that it's gonna have commission. And it's not
It says
staff.
commission approval.
Yep. So it'll now read turtle protection plan is subject to commission approval and will include the proposed frequency of third-party inspection. And number 8 will be the land clearing earth disturbance for project will be accomplished in phases with a plan on how the project will accomplish construction period stabilization of each phase. Will be included in the stormwater pollution protection plan, which will be provided to the commission for approval. That's number 8.
Okay.
Yep. And that's how we prevent another solar field flood like we had at 550 Main Street.
So it'll be regular standard conditions along with these proposed conditions.
Correct.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Turn it back over to you.
All right. Up next, public hearing, notice of intent, Paul Hippolito, 605 Main Street, map 21, lot 17, SC file number 0010587. A notice of intent was filed by Paul Hippolito for property located at 605 Main Street, map 21, lot 17. The applicant proposes to upgrade the existing septic system with installation of a 35 100-gallon and 2,000-gallon concrete septic tank, 1,000-gallon concrete grease trap, and a 2,000-gallon concrete 2-compartment septic tank, pump chamber, and concrete chamber type leaching area with 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetland. The applicant is represented by David DeVignan of Schneider DeVignan and Leone. Plan name is Sewage Disposal System Repair Plan dated August 18, 2023, revised August 29, 2023. Mr. DeVignan, is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. DeVignan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commission members. I have the green cards for Joanne. So for the record, I'm Dave DeVignan, Schneider DeVignan Leone. I represent Paul Hippolito as well as Brian Dupree.
Paul Dupree.
Paul, sorry, Paul. Paul is one of the future owners, soon-to-be future owners of the property. He has a vested interest in the upgrade of the septic system. So we're at the site on Saturday. We discussed and walked around. Basically, it's a parking lot job. There's a bordering vegetated wetlands to the rear of the mobile home. To the left of the mobile home and sort of to the right, it wraps around the mobile home. There's a very large retaining wall because that area was historically filled and graded to bring it up to the grade that it's at now. If you were to walk in the back, the wall drops down at least 4 to 5 feet around the perimeter of the backyard of the mobile home. So the septic system is located in the center of the parking lot. There is a cast iron cover approximately 10-15 feet behind the building. We know that's the septic tank. We don't know what's under the parking lot. It's been serving as the leaching area for better than, I guess, since the 50s or 60s, as long as the building's been there. The proposal is to remove whatever is in the ground and put in a Title V septic system, which will consist of a 4,000-gallon concrete tank, a 1,000-gallon grease trap, concrete grease trap, which will take the kitchen flow. Kitchen flow then flows into that 4,000-gallon septic tank. The bathroom flow will be a separate pipe leaving the building going directly into that 4,000-gallon septic tank. From there, the flows go into a 2,000-gallon septic tank, concrete. All of these tanks will be H20 wheel loading, which means they can handle vehicular traffic heavy enough, 20,000 pounds per wheel axle. So the reason for 2 septic tanks, the Board of Health regs and Acushnet require 2 compartment tanks or 2 tanks in series, and it's more economical to put in 2 tanks in series in this case because the size of the tank keeps getting exponentially bigger, and we're limited on the site for that kind of a size of the tank. There's a 4th tank that's proposed, which is to service the 2-bedroom mobile home in the back. We cannot get gravity from that trailer up the hill to the new tank, so we'll be putting in a 1,500-gallon, a 2,000-gallon 2-compartment tank. First compartment being the septic tank, the second compartment being a pump chamber, a small vault separate from the septic. So the liquid flows from the septic tank into the pump chamber, and then it's pumped up through a force main pipe, a small 2-inch pipe up to the leaching field. The leaching field, we chose a concrete product due to its location on the parking lot. Also, this field gives the benefit of a credit, if you will, from Title V for the size of it. It's a 40% reduction from a normal conventional stone and pipe leaching field. So it's the most condensed, compact system that we can put in. We can't go any deeper because of the elevation to the water table. So we've met the water table separation. The septic system will be just about 2,000-gallon flow for capacity. We have a 2-bedroom mobile home in the back, a 2-bedroom apartment above the restaurant, and the restaurant flow is designed for 44 seats. So that tallies up to about, I think it's 1,980 gallons per day. We do have erosion control shown on both sides to contain the site. I think everything that's dug up, there's very little spots for on-site stockpiling. There might be a little bit of area to the left as you pull into the parking lot, but outside of that, there really is no location to stockpile any fill. So majority of the fill that's excavated will be brought off-site. New sand, Title V sand will be brought in until we get to that grade where the chambers are placed. Chambers are placed, sand is leveled to the top of the chambers, and then we bring in gravel back for the backfill. What we dig out of that site is unknown as far as what material it is. Our guess is it's probably leaching pits below the parking lot. There are some depressions, as you saw on the site, that probably indicates that whatever is there is starting to settle significantly. When we're done, the idea would be to restore the whole parking lot back to, it's just the same grade, same footprint that exists today. We do have DEP file number. There were no comments. Yesterday, there's a new ripple that was brought to my attention. If I may approach, I'd like to hand out these plans. Sure. Paul gave me a call and told me that, there's two there. Mr. Dupree let me know that the mobile home is in tough shape. Thought I had enough.
Yeah, you get two here too.
The mobile home is in tough shape, as you saw, needs to be replaced, and he would like to include the permit to pull it out and replace it, which typically may or may not need a conservation permit just to pull the trailer out and put it in, except for if you were to investigate underneath the trailer, there's no concrete pad.
Right.
It's sitting on ground, so when the trailer is pulled out, they'll have to excavate down, probably 6 inches or 8 inches, put in some crushed stone, pour pad to set the new trailer. The trailer will go right in the same footprint, more or less the same.
Is that
size.
even allowed to put anything on a slab anymore?
You're not allowed to put it on the slab.
I don't believe so, because I was looking to a different building, that a different place that had a trailer on it, and I went to the building department and said, I'd like to take and put a new slab, move it closer to the road, and they said, no slabs anymore, complete foundation with a footing, 4-foot wall, just out for us. Yep.
Okay, well, you can put a crawl space. You don't have to have a full.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter how.
No, the station's got to be a 4-foot trench wall.
You got to be below the frost line.
Yeah, so a 4-foot trench wall would be around the perimeter. There's enough room between the trailer and the back of the property where the wall is. That sketch shows you the additional erosion control that will be put in place when that's ready to be done. And we're just requesting that this addendum sketch that I'm submitting for the removal and replacement of that trailer, including the placement of a slab with a frost wall, as required by building code, be allowed as well. So that's pretty much the project. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
So obviously, David, we obviously know this, by replacing the mobile home, it would be a huge upgrade. Yes, it is an eyesore. As Mr. Souza stated, I think we need to look into further as far as the removal and the replacement of that, what's actually required for permitting to make sure that this is done correctly.
I don't really think
we haven't crossed that bridge before, obviously. So we want to make sure that we do cross the T's and dot the I's on this project, especially where it's located. It's in a tight location.
Sure.
I think that's all going to be in the building, though.
That'll be in the building.
That's not going to be out of.
That shouldn't be us.
Well,
we're
it does,
talking
yeah, it
instead of
depends on,
pouring a
I mean,
conventional
being
pad.
so close to the.
Right, usually you pour a
I
pad
mean-
and have it haunched on the outside edges. If they don't allow that anymore,
Yeah.
then you're talking about a 4-foot trench around the perimeter of that rectangle, so they can set a footing, pour a wall,
Throw
and
the
then
slab.
pour a pad that
Yep.
attaches to the top of the pad.
Right. Because we obviously, you want to do A before you can do B. Right?
The septic needs to be done first and foremost.
Yep.
Even after the septic's done, the trailer can be done at a
Right.
later time.
So Pat has a question.
Can I
Yeah.
speak?
Go ahead, Pat.
I was gonna try to do it all at once.
Okay.
Remove the trailer first, put all the tanks in, put all of that in, while people are taking care of the trailer problem.
Base for the trailer, yeah.
Yes, because I could always pump from the next door neighbor's property, I get along good with him, and pump the concrete, so I don't need to get it into the yard to do that project, part of the project.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, there's no harm in the commission putting some conditions on the replacement of the trailer, it doesn't guarantee he's gonna get a building permit. And I would rather see all of this happen at the same time with the coordination of stockpiling off-site and keeping things from getting into the stream and all of that. So I really don't think there's any harm or foul in approving the replacement of the trailer subject to obtaining a building permit.
Yeah, right. So my only question is, equipment, where's the equipment gonna be stored during the process? You know what I mean? Like, what would be the furthest point away from the wetland, you know?
Well, it depends on how the contractor chooses to do the job, whether he wants to build, I think he's going to have to build down the hill, working his way
Right,
up the hill.
back the other
Or he
way.
boxes himself in.
Right, can't,
You know,
you
so-
won't be able to access otherwise.
So they're gonna have to start on the downhill side, and I'm thinking that he might do it incrementally, or he builds a certain piece of it and then backfills. We've seen a lot of jobs done that way when it's difficult, and it may be done in two pieces.
Right.
The tanks will all go in, you know, they're off to the side, so the tanks will go in first step. And then I would think that before if we're gonna take the trailer out, before any excavation happens, the trailer gets out, everything gets cleaned around that area, it's overgrown.
Right.
There's that large tree that needs to come down.
Yeah.
So that area would be clean, prepped, and then they would put the foundation in before they actually, and that may go in before the tanks, you know.
Right.
If we can do it all together, it'd be the foundation, slab, put the trailer on, tanks, and then work your way out of the site with the leaching field.
Yeah.
And then come back in after and do the pavement.
Yeah. Where's the wetland boundary where the trailer is?
It's at the base of the retaining wall. There's a retaining wall on the
I
left
see that,
side,
yeah,
the
yeah.
back side, and then it peters out and stops at the far back right side. And the grade just falls off from there. But pretty much level all back there. Same level as more or less the front of the trailer. It's not much difference.
So you're gonna sock that whole area?
Yes.
He's got it, he's got it.
Basically, for the septic system, we had erosion control on the left and the right. So we had it coming here and taking the tree out. And right here is a concrete pad, and then you're way past the stream, bringing that right up to the building. And on this side, we had it kind of running the whole length of the property because there's a hill on that side. We don't want anything going off into the neighbor, and bringing it across over to here. If you see in the red will pick it up right from here, come all the way around here and encompass the whole site.
So that's the new sock
Sort of,
line?
yes.
Okay.
So you'll see that there are pieces that, this piece will be taken out if we're gonna do it all at the same time.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
the whole backside will be encompassed as the workstation, you know, work area.
Anybody else? No. All right. Well, I'll entertain a motion to close, anybody?
Anyone from the public?
Yeah, no.
I'm good.
Yeah, there's only one person here, Pat. And he's full.
I can't see.
Yeah, no, understood. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So do we need, my question is, do we need to amend this where this is a new proposal for this trailer?
No, just the plans are amended.
If I may.
Oh,
When you motion and you issue the permit, it reflects two plans. The plan itself for the septic upgrade and the addendum sketch.
Okay.
Both are on, because that reflects the change in the erosion control.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
Yep. No, you're right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
all right. So I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so with that, I'll entertain a motion to issue a positive order of conditions for both sets of plans. The addendum for the trailer and the septic for the other building on the site.
Septic is denied, right?
Is there a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. All right. Well, there's no, all right, well, I'll entertain a motion to take this agenda out of order. We'll go to the other public hearing.
So moved.
Yeah. Is there a second?
Oh, yeah.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. You got a public hearing notice of intent for Brett and Sarah Pelletier, Trips Way, map 8, portion of lots 25 and 25D subdivision, lot 1, SE file number 0010588. A notice of intent was filed by Brett and Sarah Pelletier, a property located at Trips Way, map 8, portion of lots 25 and 25D. The applicant proposes to construct a single-family dwelling, septic system, land clearing, and fill and grading within a 100-foot buffer zone of a bordering vegetated wetland. The applicant is represented by David DeVignan of Schneider, DeVignan and Leone. Plan name is Sewage Disposal System, site plan dated August 24th, 2023. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion open.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. DeVignan, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For anybody joining in the audience and on Zoom, my name is Dave DeVignan, Schneider, DeVignan, Leone, and I'm here representing Brett and Sarah Pelletier. They have purchased what's known as subdivision lot 1 on Trips Way. Trips Way is a newly built gravel road which services 4 house lots. One was an existing house that the developer lived in and still lives in, which abuts this property. This is a approximately 3-acre parcel of land. It has 186 feet of frontage along Trips Way, which is a private way. The wetland line shown on the plan was the same line that was shown on the subdivision plan when that was approved by the Conservation Commission. So the site has approximately 1 acre of upland, and the remainder of the lot, most of it is wetland towards the rear. But we have a nice upland rectangular area to work with. The applicant's proposing an L-shaped house, kind of breezeway garage setup as you see on the plan. Primarily the whole house is out of the buffer zone with the exception of a bump out storage area that will actually be part of the building. And he has that as part of his plan because the concept is a walkout basement. The basement is going to be an in-law apartment for Brett's parents who intend to sell their home elsewhere in town and move into the lower level. That walkout basement allows for minimal fill to be placed towards and in the buffer zone. Where we have a 25-foot no activity zone, about a 50-foot stretch, and then it pulls away from the wetland as you head towards the far right back corner. We're clear cutting almost to the abutting property to the south so that they can put solar on the roof of the house. The way it's situated, they'll be able to maximize the square footage on the house. So the activity within the buffer zone is clearing, land clearing, minor grading, and a very small portion of that house within the buffer zone. The septic system is well out of the buffer zone towards the right front or the northeasterly corner of the house. The driveway is outside of the buffer zone. That'll be coming right off the road as the garage is outside the buffer zone. It's fairly close. Same with the well. The well stake was out there. You saw that when you were out there. So we have a DEP file number. We're seeking approval of an order of conditions so we can move on to the next step in the project.
Anybody from the commission questions on the project? No. No, it's pretty straightforward. All right. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Well, I'll entertain a motion to issue a positive order of conditions for Trips Way.
Motion.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
With the standard order.
With the standard order of conditions.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, back in order. Certificate of compliance for 990 Main Street, map 7, lots 25B, 25D, SE file number 001-0172. A certificate of compliance was filed by Attorney Glover for property located at 990 Main Street, map 7, lots 25B and 25D. The applicant constructed a 10-foot roadway, shed, and pool within the 100-foot buffer zone as-built plan on file dated October 30th, 2001. Pat, any comments?
Yes. So as you guys may or may not know, this is a 20-year-old project that, you know, failed to get a COC back in the day. The house is being sold, kind of a fake complete. I went out and took a look at it. There's nothing new that's been constructed that, you know, wasn't approved 20 years ago out in the wet meadow out there or any of that. So I would just recommend issue the COC.
Yeah, I agree. We took a walk. Nobody.
It's kind of hard on 20 years old. And I have a suggestion to make about this is that we seem to be clearing up our agenda. And I'd like to, every 2 weeks, have Joanne send out 5 letters to people that have outstanding COCs. And see if we can start knocking some of these COCs off so we don't have these issues when a house goes up for sale.
Yeah, it's funny you say.
We're gonna have the time.
I mean, even some projects as recently that I've been on the commission, I see that are complete and
Right, that happens all the time.
Yeah, and
it's
people
just,
really
you know,
forget about
everybody
it.
forgoes it. I mean, you know, they just want to keep moving on and.
Until they need it done yesterday.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, and then if it comes out,
they don't close it
Joanne's
out.
problem, actually.
Right, I agree. All right, well, I'll entertain a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for 990 Main Street.
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, stormwater. Stormwater bylaw, public outreach update, review matters presented, votes may be taken. Agent Hannon.
So, I don't know what that was. So, we just got the public outreach documents today from Conoco. They were dropped off at the office. They're being distributed to the library, the council on aging, the collector's office, all the bulletin boards in town clerk's office. I also have electronic files from Conoco that will go over to Tyner and Sydney in the selectman's office to put on the town website. And that will cover the public outreach. And then a little more update is Conoco is starting the stormwater pollution prevention plans for the DPW building, library building, police station, parting ways, town hall, fire department. All of those properties need to have SWIPs. So that's all starting next week. And we're good to go for town meeting.
Sounds good.
We'll see.
All right, next on the agenda, discussion. Cease and desist. 141 Mattapoisett Road, tree cutting, review of matters presented, votes may be taken. Backstory, I was coming into town and took the back roads in, and I had driven by the property and saw a bobcat, what appeared to be in the wetlands. And I notified Agent Hannon, and he said he'd go take a look at it. So, and the commission went there as well. But I was curious what you had seen there, Pat, when you went.
Yep, so as you know, a bunch of us got COVID just before you called me for that, and I went up 2 days later. This is a situation, also an old COC that was never taken care of, and when this person bought the house, his attorney missed that there was a wetlands filing at the registry of deeds, so this guy had no idea about it. But he did inform me that approximately 5 years ago, he contacted the then conservation agent, Merrill Lee, and asked her to come out. And she went out, and he said that she told him he could clear brush and other invasive species up to the stream, and he could cut down the dead pine trees and those other things. And he did some of that. You know, I went out, he wasn't home when I issued my cease and desist order. But I did go see him on Monday. I was back to work Monday of this week. And he came home from work and met me there. So I walked the property with him. He's agreed to apply for an RDA to clean that up and let things revegetate, monitor the invasive species, cease the cleanup activity, and apply for the COC. So I dropped my cease and desist. It was a verbal cease and desist order. provided he applies for the RDA. I left him with a plan. I explained to him what he needed to do for that, and he seemed very willing to do it. So that's my recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was a really nice guy. He was very open, and he was, coming to us for information on the COC issue, along with his neighbor, I guess, as well, has the same issue. So,
So you may not remember, but his neighbor was the one who wouldn't let us on his property when we had a bunch of complaints about some activities there. And we finally just said, stop dumping firewood next to the stream and have a nice day. But I haven't seen any new activity there other than a tree being cut down, but it's far enough away from the stream that it doesn't matter. It's an old stump, actually. It's not a tree. So, much like the guy on Middle Road, Ryan, he admitted it. I want to take care of it. I want to be done with it. So I think the IDA, just like we did at Middle Road for that fellow by the power lines.
Yep.
From the pizza shops. Yep.
Yeah.
And we had talked before, if anybody had problems and said that the prior agent gave them, misinformation, we would resolve it to the benefit of the property owner and wrap it up so that the town doesn't get sued.
Yeah.
So that's my recommendation. He's a good guy. He's not hiding anything.
I ended
His
up.
wife was afraid to mow the lawn. That's why I dropped it.
yeah, no, yeah, that's terrible. I didn't.
I went into the office and looked at the plans the other day. I know he said that maybe Marilee so on and so forth said that he could clear that all, but it was clearly in the plans the erosion control was like 5 feet off that driveway. So with that being said, that kind of like a red flag for me, saying that you can't. How do you miss that?
Yeah.
Right.
And
He didn't have the plans, Eric. He didn't have the plan until I brought it there and put it in his mailbox the other day.
yeah, but I'm
He
just
didn't-
I'm not gonna go on a word. Like, did Marilee really say that, or is he just?
Yeah. Well,
None of us will know that, what she
Yeah.
said, so.
Well, you can't go with a said so, period.
No,
That's
right.
what I'm just saying.
Or it wasn't
I went
said.
with the evidence that I
I
found.
can go on what I saw. Can I say something here, guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can go on what I saw for the last 2.5 years of what Marilee did to people. And some people got really hurt. He made a lot of investments in property that wasn't buildable. So it's not a lie, it's an absolute fact.
You can't say that.
But that's that.
All right,
It
well,
is what it is.
regardless of the fact, he's gonna file an RDA.
Right.
We don't,
He is.
you already lifted the cease and desist, and we'll move on.
And if he doesn't do it, the commission can issue a cease and desist.
Right. Go right
anytime.
back.
Right.
So right now, though, there shouldn't be any equipment down on the
No,
creek.
not down in.
And also all the lawn clippings and stuff. You can't be throwing that.
That's
in
gotta
there.
come out.
You can't be throwing that in there. That's
Eric,
against
you should take a look
MS4.
at your own piece of property.
That's not on the agenda right now,
Be
Pat.
critical about the guy at 141, you should take a look at your own piece of property. You got your own problems up there.
Pat, please. All right, so we'll leave that at that. Agent updates, Pat, anything for us?
COVID. I really just, yesterday was the first day that I felt better. And some people are still sick. So I don't have anything other than the stormwater update. I am in the process of taking the soil evaluator's course. I'll be a licensed soil evaluator in 3 weeks. It's gonna help a lot with the stormwater stuff. I've learned a lot already in the first day. And Jamie Kelly's taking care of the stormwater article for town meeting, I have nothing else.
All right.
I have been out to a few of the solar fields to do some inspections from the rain, and there's been nothing there. I went to Deep Brook as well, and there was no issues there either.
Yeah, I had taken a ride around town and checked out some of the major projects that we got going on, and I didn't really go into Deep Brook, but they had a gate up beyond the entrance gate. It looks like they have activity going on there, which is,
He did cover the piles, and he is in compliance with his CGP out there for covering the stockpiles.
Right.
There was a guy there removed some trees that were down, so the gate was open, so I drove in.
Okay.
Other than that,
Yeah, I took a ride by Bradford Street. All the piles were covered, and it didn't seem there was a piece of equipment there, but there was no activity. But everything looked pretty good.
Yep.
And I had told, under meeting mail, I had told the commission that I had reached out to Nancy Yeats of Lakeville, and I think I sent you the email, but I didn't send it to the commission. I'll eventually forward it to the commission, but that was one of my updates for that, with the notice of intent and the special conditions that were involved in that project.
Yep. So I owe you guys the NEPA stuff that I promised you about the dredging. I'll get that out. And then I'm in the process of writing the stormwater permit for Deep Brook. I contacted Jamie and Zenith and asked a couple of questions about the lot sizes and amount of impervious area on each lot. Because I want to put the amount of impervious area in the permit. And I think that's about it, Brian.
All right. All right. So,
It was just a discussion.
future business, next meeting of the Conservation Commission will be on September 27th, 2023. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.